wasn't as good.
Whatever. We tried. What's up, people? You're
Howdy.
listening to Ash and Reese on Conversations with the Reinhardts. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to talk to each other
Pew, pew, pew.
about stress relief. We've been feeling some stress lately in our lives, just like I'm sure everyone has after a year and a half of COVID, work, just existing, you know. I don't know. It's fucking hard.
Let's talk about that, because that's interesting. That COVID life.
God, what a shit show.
So
Jesus. Let's talk about stress, yeah.
So a year ago.
Well, more than like a year and a half.
Oh, I guess. April 2020.
Yeah, today's June.
That was when people were like, oh yeah, getting in the groove. If you weren't already working at home at that point, you started working at home. Essential workers became essential workers. Unless you work in food service or at the grocery store. Well, actually grocery stores, I guess, whatever. Then you don't like even get that much acknowledged. The reason why I say this is because I was working in food service at the time, and like even up until recently, we weren't.
Where were you at the? I just want.
I was at a coffee shop.
You know, we're talking about it, so I'm like, you were at Ava, right?
I don't want to talk about the names of companies.
You were at a coffee shop, right?
Yes.
By a train station, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And I was a student for the very first time ever in like a university after 5 years in the military.
Yes.
And that's where we both were. We had moved here together.
Yes. We moved to this area in November.
Yep.
And then COVID happened. The first, I guess Seattle had some cases.
It was like 0 to 60 real quick, right?
Yeah.
That's
it was
how
like the
I
epicenter
felt.
of the pandemic there for
Well, we're not in Seattle,
second.
but we're...
No, we're in Portland, which is a quick 4-hour jaunt away.
I think it's only 3 probably from Portland to Seattle.
A
For us,
quick
it's 4 hours probably.
3-hour jaunt away.
Yeah.
So that's fun. So kind of grappling with this whole entire like having no real support system or network here, only having each other. Oh, we just had River at the time. We didn't have Hazel. And then the pandemic hit. Reese and I both have survived. Well, hang on. We're here to tell the tale. So yes, we survived, but
I just thought it was funny.
You know, I somehow managed the anxiety that I have. I was super anxious when it first happened. You know, I had some congenital heart problems when I was a kid. And so apparently that's not super bad, you know. So if you were to get COVID and you had congenital heart problems, that's not necessarily something that could make you sicker.
You were under the impression it was, correct?
Yes. Correct. I also
you thought like I'm a high risk person.
Well, hang
COVID.
On. I have a heart murmur. Which
me too, high five. No? Okay.
Which at the time was, but I thought that plus that, I was like, if I get COVID, I will die.
Yeah, you were concerned. You didn't know like, oh, maybe this isn't such a risk. You were under the impression like, it will kill me.
Well, and like, let's go ahead and take a step back because no one knew.
That's fair. I think everyone was pretty scared at the beginning. I think everyone had a lot of fear in their hearts.
We had no idea. Science hadn't tested this virus. We had no actual kind of knowledge. We just knew that people were getting really sick.
Yeah.
And had to be put on ventilators. And most hospitals didn't have enough rooms or ventilators for all the people getting sick.
I think people even who now are like kind of like anti-mask, anti-vaccine, I think everyone in the beginning was like pretty scared because everyone knew someone that was like out. Like you have parents, you have grandparents, you've got like a little kid. Like everyone had someone that was like, shit, this could kill them.
It was a couple months before people started using it's not as bad as influenza.
No, yeah. I think at the very beginning, I think everyone was probably in duress and scared.
So I was terrified.
And
you
anxiety. You thought you were at like high risk.
Oh, I thought I was gonna die. We went to the grocery store.
Everyone is, so a fair fear, you know.
We went to the grocery store once, and it was right after the mask mandate was like, it wasn't put in place. Like, you didn't have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
But it was recommended by the CDC.
I forget, but now I remember. Yeah.
I was like making a mask out of little hair scarves that I had, and then my mom sent us some masks. And then
shout out to your mom. She handmade like a bunch of masks for us. It was awesome. She really, I thought that was really kind and nice.
Yeah. Well, and you couldn't find them.
Yeah, no, they were like getting sold out, and I thought that was really nice that she, you know, my mom, she loves to sew and stuff, but I was like, oh, that's really, thank you.
She was the real one there.
Shout out to Ashley's mom. Anyway, continue.
They were really nice too. They all tied behind the head, which like as the pandemic went on was the only negative to them.
It started to suck, but at first it was a real gift, I think, to have masks.
It was once hair salons opened up again, and then realizing all I had was masks that tied behind the head. And they're like, well, you can't get a haircut like this.
Yeah, you gotta like tie it, and then you gotta kind of, I don't know, wrap it around a bun or something like to really like wear it comfortably.
So I did the whole I'd tie it underneath my hair after a while.
Yeah,
that's how I wore them. But anyway,
still shout out.
My mom is amazing.
Yeah,
love you, girl.
Thanks for taking care of us. Neither one of us got COVID ever that we know of, at least, and I've been tested a lot, so.
And I haven't been tested one time, but I am fully vaccinated now, so.
Fuck. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Good.
Go ahead and just flash
America,
that privilege.
Yeah, no, I hope everyone gets vaccinated.
Yeah, me too. I hope that everyone.
Some people don't want to be, but
can.
You know.
If you want to and you can for if you are able to for medical purposes, like if you, what am I trying to say here? If you have the ability to, regardless of whatever. Because some people have medical
some people it's like a higher risk.
Yeah, you can't get the vaccine, or it's suggested you don't get the vaccine, and like that's.
I feel like my little brother should be like that. He's had outbreaks because of vaccines, so, and if he got COVID, it would not be good.
He has asthma too.
Asthma, he had like a collapsed lung and stuff when he was born.
So
anyway,
pretty bad.
Shout out to everyone. We're fully vaccinated. Hopefully you are too, or you'll be soon. My
grandpa has COPD.
Yeah, Grandpa Sam, dude. The best grandpa ever.
I love Grandpa Sam.
You know, he was a miner. He told me about it.
That's how he got the COPD. Yeah.
Yeah, breathing in the chemicals and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Still outwalks us.
He's fast.
Yeah.
He is fast. One time we were visiting, and he's like, oh, I don't want to slow you down.
Slow you down, yeah. Okay, Grandpa Sam, because you're going to do that, dude. We go for a stroll, dog. You're out here on a walk.
Yeah, he stepped it out.
Yeah.
We went on like a mile walk. We were done in like 10 minutes.
Oh, Grandpa Sam.
That's like faster than I run.
Great guy. COPD, at risk for COVID.
A really amazing guy. He also has a huge garden.
Yeah. Pretty active, pretty healthy, I would say. Is he in his 80s?
He's 76.
Yeah. So I would say super healthy, because I lost my grandparents when they were like in their 70s. So
people in my
compared
family,
to that, really, really healthy.
People in my family live to be about 100 usually. My grandma passed away a couple years ago, his wife.
Yeah.
And she battled on and off with breast cancer. So
yeah, that'll do it, you know,
for sure. And then my grandpa, my mom's side, he had stomach cancer, I think also from smoking cigarettes. So tobacco is wacky.
Yeah, one day it might get us. Shit.
We both used to be smokers, so
I know. We still love it too. We talk about it.
Yeah, it's like whenever we see a movie or we see
like,
someone else on the
street. I could go for a smoke right now.
Yeah, man.
You know, we just don't. Which
just stressful times where like you want to go
hazy
on a pack.
Speaking of stress relievers, dude, talk about a cigarette.
Oh,
That's
man.
the best stress reliever you can get.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
No, you feel it. You feel it. I still feel it.
Don't spit that evil on me.
Yeah, don't put that evil on me.
Don't spit it at me. Okay, anyway, back to the COVID thing.
Yeah.
So I stayed home for a while, because I was able to. The company I worked for was really gracious, and they're like, "Oh, you're at risk. You're not feeling comfortable coming to work. That's fine."
They were super nice. They worked with you a lot. They really took care of you. I thought.
I will say it was super hardcore because when I went back to work, a lot of people would try to come in without a mask, and health code here is you cannot serve someone without a mask. It's the law.
People probably do that all over the place, right. I imagine, right?
And, you know, I was the manager, so I have to uphold the rules, and so I got yelled at a lot. One time... So we had 2 bathrooms. One was for employees only and one was for customers because we were trying to like make sure that we were protected, thankfully. And one person came in. They looked totally normal, you know. They looked clean and everything. They were like, "Can I use the bathroom before I order?" You know. We're like, "Fine."
Wait, never mind. I don't want a spoiler alert, you know. Anyway.
Yeah, just keep it to yourself.
Yeah, I'll keep it to myself. I got a question about
this. There's this guy who had gotten coffee and a muffin, and he proceeds to have to use the bathroom after a little bit, so he goes back and forth, and he like starts hollering at me, and my manager was there too at the time.
I mean, it was obviously your fault though.
Yeah, and he was like, "What's up? This guy's been in there forever. I have to go to the bathroom." And like me and my manager,
what'd you say?
I said, you know,
like back to that, you know,
I said, I'm sorry. You know, my manager went over and like knocked on the door and was like, "Hey man, like you need to like hurry up. I don't know what you're doing in there, but like you need to hurry up." I mean, like it was like 20 minutes.
What if he just had like a sideways shit?
I don't know.
That's fair.
It's all I have to say is like if you go to a coffee shop, it's not the responsibility of the coffee shop to let you have a place to use the bathroom.
100%. No, that's kind of my point. Like that guy, you know, finders keepers, like first come first serve, dude. My shit was more serious than yours.
I mean, I'll just go ahead and deviate.
It was a problem though, right?
Yes, it was an issue, and I'll get back to this because I'll deviate to a different story. Before I started working at this specific store, there was a person who decided that they were going to
shitter.
hang on, let me talk.
Okay.
Telling a story over here.
I'm getting
it's very important.
I hope it's poop related.
It's not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, disappointment.
Say whatever you gotta say then.
Okay, let me, and I will. You ready?
Okay. I'll try.
All right. Shh. So they go into the bathroom, they lock themselves in there, and they make a home.
What kind
6
of home?
or 7 hours pass before the police are called, and they come in, they have to break the door down. That's right.
That's not a shit, though. I think everyone knows that.
I told you it was not poop related.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
so under what circumstance do you think this is?
Yeah, you know, you win. You're right.
All right.
You did. You warned me. You were like, it's not poop related. I'm
you
like,
just
it probably is. It's a bathroom.
Calm down. So for a long time during the pandemic, we didn't have any open bathrooms because, no one did.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. So this customer was just so upset. And I'm about to like throw him out, right? Because in Oregon, we reserve the rights to refuse service to anyone.
Get the fuck out of here.
And he was becoming a little verbally abusive, which is...
They always do, right?
At this location that I worked at, there's a reason why I don't work there anymore, and it was because of the abusive customers.
I don't want to pull you off topic,
What?
but would you say most people in you were customer service, would you say most people, or would you say like, maybe not most people, but there's like a high
Get it out, what?
ratio of people that are aggressive towards you?
Kind
of like you're being aggressive towards me right now.
Hang on.
I'm kidding.
It depends on the situation, and stop it. Okay. Later. Okay. It depends on the situation, and honestly depends on the location, because I worked at a lot of places where I did not have to deal with anything like that, but I've also worked at places where that is something that I had to deal with a lot. So I have kind of a thick skin when it comes to customers who are a little bit belligerent.
Okay.
So this customer was being really aggressive. And he was like talking at me. I was making a drink and he was talking at me.
What was he talking at you? What'd he say?
Just more about the bathroom. Baby, you need to stop. Let me get the story out.
Okay.
Hang on.
I'm just excited, dude. I got a lot of questions. I want to know who these people are.
We're trying to talk about stress relief. I haven't even gotten through the first stressful story.
Yeah. I need stress relief because Reese asked too many questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
No, I know. I'm just excited, dude. I want to know, like, where this bathroom story goes. I'm pumped about it because it's going to be a good time for me, at least.
I told him, I said, you know, because he was like, because he started calling this person homeless. He's like, do you just let homeless people go to the bathroom all the time? And I was just, I don't think he realized that I was the one who gave this person the bathroom code to use the bathroom, because it has a code on the door, because people will go in there and lock themselves in there for 8 hours until police break down the door.
That was a problem that you had at this location, right?
Anyway, yes, like I said, so this person was like, you guys just like let anyone use the bathroom? And I was just so uninterested. I said, at the end of the day, you and I both know that we have both got into an establishment and used the bathroom before we ordered. Should we not be allowed that privilege anymore?
Is that what you told us, dude?
Yes, 100%.
You're like, listen, me and you both, we've pissed in toilets before we bought anything. Let a brother piss.
I said, he came to me and asked if he could use the bathroom before he ordered. Yeah. Would you deny him that right?
What'd they say?
They were silent, and they went over to my manager to go try to get them to take their side. I had enough.
Really?
Well, and
they didn't say nothing. They just walked away. They're like, 100%. I'm gonna talk to your manager about this.
And at this point, he's putting down his muffin and coffee and says, I don't want this anymore. This is ridiculous. And this is like 5 minutes later.
Blame you?
This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
my manager's like, hey, man, you can't just leave your stuff here. There's a waste receptacle right there.
You already paid for it. Throw it away.
And this guy starts raising his voice. And so my manager has had enough, because, he's been yelled at now for the entire time that I'm just there also working shift with him. It's a very expensive shift for our boss, by the way, having to the area lead manager and then also the store manager working at the exact same time.
You were store manager. He was area lead manager.
Yes. Very expensive shift. But, the pandemic, it is what it is. Him and I would talk about improvements for the store during this time. But
the best.
Yeah, I think that he just lost his cool finally, because the entire time he kept his cool and I kept on being behind him, just in the shadows, just on the cusp of being like, you need to leave now. You're no longer welcome in the store.
Were you saying that, or was he saying that?
Well, hang on. This was never sent.
Oh,
because
no one said this.
Yeah. Every single time I got close to kicking this person out, my manager would just be like, all right, man, trying to de-escalate the situation.
Trying to get him to take a chill pill. He's like, hey, man, chill out, dude. The shitter's for everyone, okay?
Well, it's not for everyone. It's for people with the code.
And they had the code, right?
Okay, baby. Anyway, so he's sitting there talking back and forth, and then my manager's like, you know what, man? Like, you are being more of an issue right now than the guy using the bathroom. Honestly, you're being a little childish.
Yeah.
And that was all that this customer needed to hear, because he picked up the coffee and the muffin, started hollering, childish, did you just call me childish? And he threw his coffee and his muffin at us.
Oh, like hucked it at you. I remember seeing the footage of this.
I pulled it up on the camera so I could show every employee who worked at the store there.
If this guy shows up, F him.
Well, and then I called the police and told them what had happened. Yeah. They took off on foot. Police officer eventually came up and said, couldn't find him, or couldn't find her, is what they said. Couldn't find her.
Not surprising.
So it was a young man with long hair. So
you told me about that too. They thought he was a girl like the whole time, basically.
And I said,
yeah,
white male, 5'5", long brown hair, wearing cargo shorts.
Yeah. Don't trust a cop. Unless his name is Braxton Simpson, and then probably don't trust him either, but maybe.
Stop it. So anyway, I'm feeling kind of riled up, but that's what I started quarantining myself to not get sick, and then I went back to work out of a feeling of obligation. No one ever forced me guilt. No one forced me or coerced me to go back to work. I did it out of my own guilt and anxiety, and then I returned to that. So you could say it was awful. So stress relief.
How did you relieve your stress at this time? Okay.
So, stress relief. I picked up yoga and a meditation practice. During our time at home, I did not drink at all. Can't say that I still don't drink, but, we were sober.
I'm drinking right now,
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I think I probably didn't drink at the time. Well,
no, we were both sober.
Yeah.
We were both sober the entire time. You just started running. I was running with you.
Yeah.
And then we were doing yoga together. We did yoga with Adrian's 30 days.
Putting in the work.
And then, stressful times. We got engaged, more stressful times. And then we joined a gym.
Yeah, what a waste of fucking money.
And then Oregon shut down again.
Yeah.
And then it reopened, and I joined a yoga studio.
And I joined a rock climbing gym. Yeah, we realized, that was a mistake.
You used to, pump iron when you were in the military with all your boys, and
and it just wasn't the same, I guess, and I don't know.
It wasn't the same because I don't really care about being strong.
Well, and honestly, now that I don't have anyone to be strong in front of, I don't care about being strong. Yeah, but you look at me all the time. You're like, you're so strong, and I'm not.
Strong man.
Yeah, big strong man.
Carry me.
Yeah, I'm not crazy strong or nothing.
Strong enough to carry me.
But
strong like ox.
You're about the only person I got to impress, right? I don't know.
And even that, it's like I'm impressed.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, you know what I used to like doing was climbing rocks. So I went to a climbing gym.
Mm-hmm. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Oh, during the pandemic, we used to also do a little.
Still going on, I guess.
Well, during the height of it, when everything was shut down,
when it was real severe, when you were
no
at
vaccines.
Home. Yeah.
People
at home lockdown.
People were
going
dying
nowhere. Yeah.
by the
tons of
thousands
grandmas,
a day.
dude. I couldn't even guess. How many grandmas do you think died?
Kids died too.
You think they were the same amount of grandmas as kids, or you want to place a bet? We can look it up later.
I'm not going to do that because death is not funny.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do you feel bad now?
No. Nah. Not even a little bit. I don't know. People fucking die. We got to deal with it somehow.
All right, babe. Jeez.
But yeah.
Let's change the topic before we say something we can't take back now.
I'm not going to say nothing other than that. I don't know. I'm sorry for everyone's loss. People lost a lot, for sure. And I'm sorry you have to deal with that. It sucks to lose anyone. To lose a grandparent, a kid, anyone in between. Sucks. So, I'm not trying to make light of that. I know a lot of people died, and that's a coping mechanism for me, I guess.
He's had a lot of people die in his life.
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't have to get into it.
Yeah, I've lost a lot of people, and not trying to say I've lost more than you, because I haven't. Everyone's lost someone, probably.
But the pain that he feels from the loss that he's felt is similar to the pain that you may feel from the people you've lost.
Yeah,
and that's what makes us human. That's what makes us one. That's what connects us, is the fact that regardless of what you're suffering through, enjoying,
it sucks, for sure,
or whatever, you are not feeling those feelings by yourself.
Yeah, COVID is no joke. It killed a lot of people that a lot of people cared about, and I'm not trying to make light of that. I've lost a lot of people. I've lost someone to pneumonia, which is a little bit, less. People aren't afraid of that or nothing. Anyway. People have lost a lot of people. I'm not trying to make light of that. It sucks. Losing someone sucks. I'm trying to live my life and be all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not trying to
It's
harbor any
okay.
wounds.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay.
All right. So, connectedness, oneness.
Yeah.
Just like how everyone has felt lost and knows what it's like to feel, you know, an emptiness, you know, a longing for a loved one or a cherished person or something like that. You know, I would say the majority of the population knows kind of what that feels like. But we also, I'll just go ahead and say, at least everyone in America, you know, if you're from America, if you're from like a first world country, honestly, you know, not being able to go out to eat, not being able to go shopping, not being able to go to the office,
well, I mean,
not being able to go to happy hour, not being able to do just like your regular everyday activity pre-COVID, you know, sure, it sounds kind of like, oh, you can't give up one thing, but like at the end of the day, a lot of people have had some really low points during this time, this past year. I would wager
most people. COVID has killed a lot of people, and a lot of people know those people, you know?
It's caused a lot of fear. It's caused a lot of anxiety. It's caused a lot of loneliness, depression. People who were in really abusive situations weren't really able to get rid of those or get away from those abusive situations. Like, you know.
It's been a lot, I would say, for everyone.
So all that being said, I will say one thing for me. One little nugget of good that has come from this pandemic has been
Let's hear it.
Finding
some positivity,
some spirituality.
Yeah, that's fair. Probably a fair amount of people. I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't know. I'm not trying to put that on anyone. I'm just saying for me, since this episode is about stress relief.
Yeah. You
me
make
personally.
Peace, right? Did you feel like you had to make peace?
Make peace with what?
Just what was happening.
No, I still am not okay with it.
Oh, okay.
But spirituality and like what comes with that helps. So at the beginning of COVID, you and I like really delved into kind of like that Zen Buddhism kind of situation, you know, Teach Not Han and all of that, just focusing on breath, trying to meditate.
I still try that.
Yeah. And then it was
bit every day.
You know, you had what's that guy called who does the ice swims?
His name is Wim Hof.
Yeah, Wim Hof.
He's a little crazy. You don't gotta take cold showers. They're pretty wild though. You can go pretty deep. You can meditate. You can be cold. You can really get into your own breath, and you don't gotta take like a drug. You don't gotta do nothing special. You just turn the water to cold, and you really like just focus and embrace. And you go and you see these things, and like I don't know, you kind of become okay with them, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say I was okay with it, but like it did help for sure.
So that.
Yeah.
And you and I got into like kind of a fitness journey.
Yeah, working out. We were doing meditation, like you said.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every single day.
That's the biggest one, I think, is some form of meditation.
Yeah.
Would you agree? Would you say that helps?
Well, I'm just talking about like what nuggets came out of the pandemic for us. I'm not talking about what we actually currently do for stress relief.
Okay. Yeah, so I'd say like meditation, oneness, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Physical activity. Same, yeah.
It's like really
caring about yourself, I think, kind of sums it up.
Yeah, really, just like looking inward.
Yeah,
you know,
what do you want? What do you want to do? What do you want to feel? What do you want to be okay with? What do you want to work on? Looking at yourself a lot. Not to cut you off, sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, so that was kind of the jumping off point, at least for me, with the kind of journey that I'm on now. You know, this whole spiritual awakening that I'm currently on. And that's not going to be the same for everyone. And I understand that some people are going to be like, oh, wow, a little woo-woo or whatever. And that's fine. You know, don't yuck my yum.
Don't yuck my yum, dog.
So
get out of here with your yuck.
But yeah, so that was the beginning of that. I know when I went back to work, I lost 80% of my good habits.
It's hard to keep on top of.
It really is.
Yeah.
So here I am now, just talking about myself in that own way. I listen to audiobooks a lot about like spirituality and then also for like fun. So like I really like thrillers. So I just recently listened to oh my gosh, I'm going to feel so embarrassed if I get this wrong. Thomas Harris.
I mean,
the Hannibal Lecter guy.
Yeah.
So I listened to Silence of the Lambs for the first time. I love the movie. It's one of my top 10 favorite movies.
You've also read the book, right?
I just listened to it on audiobook. I read Red Dragon.
Yeah, okay, my bad.
Paperback. I have that one in my possession. Really good read, but that's the first in the trilogy. So
Red Dragon is?
Red Dragon.
Oh, in the movies it's like the third. Gotcha though. Keep going.
Pretty positive it's the first in the
No, Hannibal.
I don't think I've ever seen the movie.
Hannibal is the first.
Well, Hannibal it's like the prequel.
Yeah, so before, right?
Well, right, but it wasn't released before.
No, the movie wise it was. Yeah. Hannibal came out before Red Dragon. 100%. I'd bet money. Not that it matters. Keep going.
So anyway, back to what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, that is a big part of stress relief. You know, I have hobbies and I like to do certain things, but for me, I practice yoga at least 3 times a week.
Go to class.
Yeah, I go to
like a teacher,
a studio.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that that's easier because it's just too easy not to do Shavasana or like, you know,
that's the truth.
Do the fullest extent of your ability, you know.
It's just too easy not to do.
It's easy not to do.
I think that sums it up. Yeah.
And I think that especially with taking such a big break, because I mean, you know, I went back to work in July, and so I didn't keep up with what I was doing during quarantine, basically from then until nowish. You know, and even then it's like, you know, I work 40-hour weeks now. I work like a corporate 9 to 5, and it's really hard to, especially when my commute is 30 minutes in, 30 minutes out, you know, plus a lunch. That's a 10-hour day of not being at the house and, you know, not having like a quiet moment to yourself. Yeah. And so combine that with,
especially where you work, where you can hear people listen to music and do stuff.
Well, you know. Usually people wear headphones, but you know,
not all of them.
You're supposed to. Yeah, you're supposed to.
Well, dude,
everyone on my floor wears headphones. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Then.
So, yeah, it's like, you know, I wake up in the morning. If I don't wake up early enough, I don't get to meditate. When I get home, if there's traffic, I don't get any time to myself before my yoga class. You know, and on my days I don't have yoga, there's always like a list full of things to do. It just seems like my prioritization for self-care gets always put on the back burner. You know, I'll get to it. I guess the more that I like live and do my thing, the more I realize that working a 40-hour work week is, this might sound really silly to a lot of people who really enjoy their 40-hour work week job, but
probably not many, I'd imagine.
It's like killing a part of yourself. Not like suicide, but it is like a partial part of me.
You give up part of yourself to have stuff in return.
And it's like, what really am I getting?
Money and all that, I guess.
So you know, stress relief.
Yeah.
What a heavy thing to say. My bad.
I don't know. A lot of people sell part of themselves to work, to pay for things.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the military for 5 years, literally just to pay for college.
That's true.
Like
That's
5
true.
years of my entire life. You know, I'll die at like 75 and like really it'll be like I died at 70, you know. And part of that's my fault, I guess, for not living as fully as I could have. I lived pretty fully, but like not the way I wanted to. Anyway, people sell a part of themselves for sure. You give up part of your life. You're giving up a large part of your life. Mostly 40 hours a week is a large part of the week.
And so what I'm getting at by saying that is that, you know, if you are one of those people who has to work 40 hours a week or more, you know, you have to really prioritize, you know, what's important to you, you know, and I think that stress relief and working on being okay with yourself, at least for me, is like my top priority. And that's why I pay to go to a yoga studio, because I pay the money, and if I don't go to the yoga studio, that's me throwing it away. Yeah. It's kind of like it's an obligation I have now that I love. I love yoga.
And it relieves stress.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's exercise and it's meditation, and, you know, I do power vinyasa sometimes 3 times a week, which is really difficult. It's not like I'm sitting here just like, oh, I'm going to get thin and super, you know, ripped from doing power vinyasa. But, you know, at the same time, it's like, it's movement meditation.
It's practice. Right?
It's practice. Yeah. So for me, it's just, you know, when you're doing those hard poses, it's easier just to surrender to how difficult it is and just be with your breath. And I like to use mantras, you know.
I think a big takeaway from that is like yoga feels kind of workish sometimes, but it is a stress reliever. Mm-hmm. Because I feel the same way about a lot of things.
Well, I'm sure you feel that way about running.
Yeah, it's like something you have to do. Like, I have to run to be good at running. And it's like an obligation. But it does, man, you run yourself ragged, and like you'll be tired, and like you just can't help but not be stressed out because like you're exhausted. Yeah. Or you thought about it on your run or whatever.
It's like a meditation, running is.
Yeah. Same with
nothing but, you know, your breath and your feet touching the pavement.
And honestly, I would wager climbing's the same. Like, you got some people got fear of heights or whatever. Like I mean, I got a fear of heights. I just ignore it. But like you know, like you got fear of heights, you got like physical exertion, and like it turns into like a dance almost. You know, like I've seen people climb, and it's like it turns into a dance. It's like you got to do these moves this way, and like you just move your body like this in like this rhythm, and you zen out, and you get, I would say it's what scientists call the zone. You know, like people have backed up like the zone with like papers and stuff, and
flow state.
Yeah, flow state. And you just get into it, and like you do it, but it definitely is still work. Like running is work, and like if I want to climb hard, like I gotta climb hard, and like that can be work.
Well, right. And I think
yoga can be work, but it is
more than that though, because I don't go into yoga or something that I enjoy being like, this is gonna suck.
Yeah, same. I don't
no,
I don't go on a run that way. I don't go to the gym that way. Like, I don't think like, oh, this is gonna blow. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I get to go do this, you know.
I think that it's more so like it forces you to be extremely mindful of what's happening.
You got to be in the moment.
You have to be now.
You got to be there and present. And like, you can't be thinking about like, oh, what about this? What about...
So that's spirituality. Just by the way, listener, if you didn't think that you were spiritual at all, being present and spirituality, that's the spirit in you.
Yeah, that's fair. I'd call it that. If you don't think you're spiritual and you like to be present, just, you know, ignore that comment, I guess. But I don't know. Some people are afraid of that. Spirituality, religion, all that type of stuff.
Well, spirituality and religion are two separate things, I think.
For some people, I'm trying to
You
say.
can be, well.
For some people, it's all under the same umbrella.
And
like
that's
Bodie,
fine
for instance. Or Jeff. For instance. It falls under the same thing, you know?
And that's their view of it.
Yeah.
But just because you're religious doesn't mean you have to be spiritual, and just because you're spiritual doesn't mean you have to be religious. But and you can be religious and spiritual.
And just because an experience feels spiritual doesn't mean it's religious, doesn't mean it's negative or whatever. I'm just saying for some people they kind of have the same connotation. I don't want to ostracize anyone, you know. Live your life.
All right.
Anyway, stress relief. We feel like the flow state, that's kind of the key, I think, right? Because you probably get into that in macrame too.
No.
Really?
I don't really consider it to be flow state, to be
You don't like
honest.
Zone out and just like tie this knot or whatever. I don't know.
No, I view it as like I'm just I'm there.
No.
That sounds 100% present.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like presence and flow state. I guess I probably equate to the same thing, and I guess they're not.
To me, flow state is when you're extremely into something that you are really good at, that you lose yourself in.
And you don't do that with macrame?
No, not really.
You're just there, but it's not the same.
I'm really aware of what I'm doing with the macrame, but I don't think that I lose myself in it.
That's fair. I feel that way about the work that I do right now. So it makes sense to me.
You know, I view it as like, you know, we watched that movie Soul.
Yeah, we did.
You know, they say like, this is the zone. That to me is flow state. I've read, approximately 2 chapters of the book Flow, which is talking all about that. I'm not an expert by any means, but that's personally how I view it as like, you know, he is so advanced and good at piano that he loses himself there.
Yeah, I'm not an expert by any means, but like I'm familiar. Like I've accomplished that feeling and, you know, drumming.
And I think that's, whatever. You know, you're extremely present as well. But to be mindful, to be here, is to be aware. And that's kind of how I see it. It's like, you know, if you are completely in the moment, if you are completely, you know, on the task at hand, you know, you're in a meditative state, you're extremely aware.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm in the zone, I may just be able to be in the zone and things are happening all around me, but I'm there. I'm focused on this one thing at hand. So to me, it's like a little different. Technicality, sure, but...
They sound the same to me, but I feel you, I guess.
Well,
and the only reason I say
I'm not trying to argue, so I'm just like, maybe I'll just give it to myself.
The only reason I say they sound the same is like climbing to me sounds the same as drumming, but like I'm much better at drumming. But like,
well, okay, so
losing
to me,
yourself in something,
the difference is
the same feeling.
If you're drumming and you're like in the zone or you're like there, you know what I mean? Would you be able to, like, if I opened the door and looked at you, would you be aware that I was there?
No, probably. No, not at first, at least.
So I wouldn't say that that's like,
yeah.
I wouldn't say that's the same.
Well, and I'd feel the same way climbing. Like if you walked into a climbing gym and I was there, like I would not be aware that you had walked in and were watching me.
Well, and that's a little different because that's like a big place.
Well, I mean a little bit, but even if you were standing there staring at me, like I would not realize probably until afterwards, you know.
Sure.
I don't know. I would say that's a big same with, you know, honestly running and stuff, and like for you, like you said, like yoga. I don't know. It's all. I would say the zone is kind of what you're aiming for like that stress relief, especially. Like you just want to like be where you are, doing what you're doing. You don't want to be lost in thought, thinking about some stuff, thinking about the future, the past, whatever. Just want to be there, experiencing. Not great, but pretty good. Before I ask you your closing thoughts, I'm just going to give mine right quick.
Okay.
I think the secret to stress relief is being in the zone. And I think what being in the zone is being present. You need to be aware of where you are right now, what you're doing right now. You got all these thoughts, you got all these goals, you got all these dreams, all this guilt, you got all this stuff, all this built up stuff, right? Attached to like what you should be or where you should be or what you should be doing. And I think the key to being relieved of stress is being present where you are right now without any of that crap attached. That's why I like drumming, I like running, I like all this other stuff. Just takes me to there. When you're out of breath, you're out of breath. You're running, you're out of breath. You're drumming, you're like just in a groove. Wherever you are, I think that's the key, is being where you are. So I think, hopefully some people will take that and go to the zone or go to the present or whatever you want to call it. And hopefully while you're there, you'll forget about some of the stuff that's stressing you out, I guess, for a minute at least.
Yeah.
All right. You have at it.
So I think the secret to stress relief, just go with your theme, is practicing self-care. For me, self-care is, practicing like spirituality, it's doing yoga, and then it's like doing things that I enjoy. And self-care by definition is just doing things that are good for you or make you feel good. And that could be doing, your dishes because they need to be done, or it could be, going grocery shopping because you need to go grocery shopping, but it could also be taking a nice bath with a bath bomb, exercising, taking care of plants, just stuff that makes you feel good, that, feels good,
whatever it is that makes you feel good.
When I used to see my therapist, she said self-care can be things that make you feel, like a child, just free of care. And I've held on to that. So it's not just stuff that's good for you, like studying if you have a test coming up or paying your bills on time. It's also things that make you feel good to be alive, Yeah.
Gotta have a purpose for being here, right?
Yeah. You can't just be so focused on all of the miserable stuff all the time. Yeah. Life is full of, give and take. Some stuff is going to be super miserable, but it doesn't have to be your whole life.
Yep.
And those miserable moments don't have to be so miserable. And I think that the ultimate takeaway, at least for me, is we get to choose. It may not feel like it in the moment. It may feel very intense. We get to choose. We choose how we feel. We choose how we react. And we choose what we, do in result of that. So don't let yourself go. Know that you're in control.
Make a good choice.
Do things for you as long as they are not harming to other people.
Yeah.
Be present. Be
here.
Now.
Yeah, be here now.
Plan for your future. Learn from your past. But root yourself in today. Because today, it's not going to happen again.
Yeah. And that's the truth.
All right. That being said, thank you so much for listening to us.
Yeah, thanks a bunch. Always love the company. Love the conversation.
Yeah. Please let us know your thoughts, comments, questions, concerns. And then we don't have... I guess we do have an Instagram. I just haven't posted on it yet.
Yeah, but we do have... we have a YouTube, and then we have the podcast hosted. So, if you want to say something, you can find us, for sure.
My personal Instagram you can find is ash.catch.om. And then if you want to follow our Instagram that we have together, it's the Reinhardt's blog.
Yeah, we don't really blog, though. But the Instagram exists and the
we
blog
might blog.
Exists. We might, but for now, we're just talking to each other.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Peace out.
Yeah. Peace out, Girl Scout. Have a good night. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys had fun, learned something, whatever.
Or felt
Enjoyed
less
yourself.
alone. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if you hated it, as long as you had a reaction.
Oh my gosh. Just
all right. Take it easy, guys.
Bye.